Namaskar. Welcome to the 6 day session with all enthusiastic participants. As part of celebrating the first anniversary of National Education Policy 2020, the topic of today's session is quality education, accreditation, and teacher development. Quality education is providing services of high quality and creating citizens who can survive in any circumstances, excel in all fields of work, and make our country proud. I would like to introduce the speaker of today's session, Mrs. Suraj Moli V.S., lecturer selection grade from Electronics Department of DBRAIT. She has completed her engineering graduation from MAR Athanasius College of Engineering, Kothamangalam under Mahatma Gandhi University, Kottayam, Kerala in the year 1990. She has 3 decades of teaching experience, also a qualified lead auditor for ISO standards. She has attended various short-term training programs related to education methodology, management and technical areas. Some of the major trainings attended are micro teaching, instruction design, question paper setting, multi-point entry and credit system, ancient Indian education system, outcome-based education, ICT tools, pedagogy of teaching and tools on e-content development for effective teaching, leadership and motivation, behavioral science, microcontroller and PLC programming, VLC design, 5G technologies, AI MIMO application for 5G wireless network, nano engineering, vaccination and diagnosis in combating corona, system design methodologies for embedded IoT using Intel FPGA, etc. During the tenure in DBRAIT, she has handled various responsibilities such as Secretary of Staff and Student Society, Management Representative for ISO and Dean Academics, and contributed in conversion of the institute into a system-driven organization. Her area of interest is communication and study on effects of radiation on human body. Miss Suraj Moli VS.
Thank you, Alka ma'am. Warm good afternoon to all the participants. Welcome to today's session. First of all, let me thank Andaman Nicobar Administration and IQAC, that is Internal Quality Assurance Cell of our institute, for giving me an opportunity to speak on the topic quality education, accreditation, and teacher development. As quoted, quality is never an accident, it is always a result of intelligent efforts. So we know that whenever we term the word quality, we assume that quality is possible only in a product. Whenever we make some product, the quality will be there. But after some years, it was felt that the service industry should also follow the parameters which is required for assessing and controlling the quality requirement. So when you say the service industry, the first and the foremost is the education industry. So because we know that the education is the first field which molds the student to become a good citizen, hence the quality should be implemented in the education institute first. So to begin with, I'd like to share the topics which I'll be covering: the dimensions of quality education, factors affecting the quality education, highlights of NEP 2020 to enhance quality education, accreditation, and some highlights on NEP 2020 regarding the teacher development. So we know that in an education institute, if we want to convert it into a quality education institute, there should be 3 parameters which we look into first. First is there should be development in the infrastructure, there should be development in the area of teaching methodology, and there should be some good environment or teaching environment should be there, and there should be monitoring for the delivery system so that all a whole the education system attains the quality requirement. So to begin with, the definition says that the quality education is the one that provides the learners with the capabilities they require to become economically productive, contribute to the improvement of society and enhance individual well-being. So first, I'd like to share the dimensions of quality educations. Some of the parameters are, to begin with, equity. So equity means the education should be such that there should be equal opportunity for all the students. And in a class, we see that normally the students will be of various levels of understanding. They can be good, very good students, a mediocre student, and below average students. So equity says that we should try to bring the students under the below average category also into average category. Then later on, they should be at par with the good students. So for that, we have to conduct some extra coaching classes and guide them in such a way that they become a student who scores very good in examinations, and they will not feel any inferiority when they are compared with the good students. Second is the sustainability. So whenever a status is achieved or goal is achieved, so we cannot feel that there is no further improvement. So whatever position we are reaching, the institute should try to maintain that level, and it should not be brought down. The next is contextualization and relevance. So institute will be getting many informations, so that has to be used in such a way that it is helping the institute to continually improve. For example, when we are getting some information on the marks and attendance, we see that the students are lacking in which particular subject, and or they are attending one particular subject and not attending the classes. So there should be some provision to improve, and it should be improved in such a way that all the effort which is put by the institution is given to all the students. So this brings the next point, that is balanced approach. So approach of teaching should be such that it should be equal to all, and if so there is some lacuna in any of the system, and they should be brought into, and there should be a balanced approach. And last but not the least, the student friendly teaching and learning atmosphere. So in a class, if one student has absented in one particular day, and the next day when the teacher comes and when he or she is taking attendance, if he is taking care that the why that particular student has absented, the student will feel that the teacher takes care and sees that who are present, who are not present. So this will bring a conducive environment, and they will feel that if they are having any problem, they'll share it with the students, and there should be a very good relation between the teacher and the students. Next, we'll see the factors affecting the quality education. So there are many parameters. I have taken some important parameters. They are teaching and the teacher and the teaching methodology, because the teacher is a person who mold the raw material or the students who is entering after taking admission into a good citizen who is having all the knowledges. Then secondly, the content and curriculum framework. The content should be such that we should be doing some need analysis on the basis of the local area requirement, and then the curriculum should be prepared. And then learning environment, infrastructure facilities, institutional management and information system, and then funding and effective feedback mechanism. So one by one, I'll be just covering the topics which I have written. So to begin with, teacher and teacher methodology or teaching methodology. So the teacher sees that first of all, the teacher, after the one or two classes, he will come to know the level of the students, and accordingly the classes should be taken. So first is competency based material. The preparation of material should be such that how all the students will be able to understand the topic. Then if some topics are very tough, the teacher should make some learning resources, that is LRs, and its proper usage should be there. So with the help of LR, a teacher can bring or make the complicated topic to a very easy method, and using some animation method, using smart classes, we can show them animation. Through the animation technique, we can show them that how a particular thing, complicated machine is working, so they will easily understand it, and then when they do the thing in the practical, the thing will be solidified. The next is availability of textbooks and usage. This is also the responsibility of the teacher to see that which particular books are required, and if they are giving the requirement to the library on time, so the library will be having all the better books, and the teacher also comes to know that which book is used most by the students. So a library should be such that it is having all the books which is actually required by the students. Then laboratory kits and their use. So all the labs in an institute should be having all the latest equipments, and the students should be given opportunity to use all the kits so that they gain knowledge. So when they do it practically, the knowledge of theory will be improved. Then the virtual classes and labs. Now, when we say virtual classes, now the positive impact of the pandemic which has took place now has given the teacher as well as the students to opportunity to go into the usage of virtual classes and labs, and they are very interesting, and all the topics can be easily understood. Now teachers came to know that use of Google classes, then Google meets, and using that labs also they can do all the practicals. So next, I'd like to go into the second area, that is education content and curriculum framework. So first, foremost point is written as learning. So we know that when a teacher is teaching, the student part is the learning. So the learning improves by function of doing. So more function you do, more practice you do, the learning will improve. And learning will be such that it is even every time you should be able to understand what you have learned. So if you are practicing it, the knowledge will be improved. And emphasis on thinking skills. So our education system should be such that it inculcate the habit of thinking skill in a student. Then of course the quality of books and the course material will also help the students to improve the learning. Then relevant curriculum and teaching material. So if the curriculum is obsolete and if it is not having the advanced technological topics, then it is not much use. So the curriculums should be such that it is covering all the latest topics. And apart from this, what now government feels that apart from the knowledge which they are getting on the required system in the curriculum, they should also come to know about the general awareness on hygiene, nutrition, the communicable diseases, gender equality, and other important national and international issues. All these things should be covered for holistic improvement of the student. The next comes the learning environment. This is also a very good and the most important aspect in institute. There should be healthy and secure environment for all the students. So if the campus is green and very good, the students will feel that they should come to the college or institute and study, and it will be an attraction for all the students. And they should have proper classroom, the furniture should be good, the lighting facility, ventilation, everything should be there. So they should not feel that they are away from home and not having any facility. And many of the colleges have good hostels also. That is also a good aspect for a student to get admission in such institute. And there should be also facilities for health checkup and facilities for specially gifted students. There should be lift system, and some messages should be written so that the students are easily able to access the multi-story building. Then next is the infrastructural facilities. So apart from the learning environment, this is also important. There should be space for the sports and cultural activities, because without the extracurricular activity, we cannot inculcate the soft skill requirement, or they cannot improve the personality of the students. So there should be provision, and all sports items should be there, and a good auditorium should be available so that such activities are conducted. And drinking water facilities, of course, it should be there. Then common room for the boys and girls. So this is the foremost requirement of AICT, that every institute should have common room for a separate common room for boys and girls, and also the toilet facilities, etc. Now coming to the Next point, that is institutional management and information system. So in one institute can excel only if it is having a transparent system. So transparent system means all the activities which is happening, beginning from the admission to the students going out of the institute, all procedures should be laid down. The student should come to know that when the admission will start and when the session academic session will start, when there will be test on unit test or practical test, all these will be reflected in a laid down procedure. And when you have a procedure laid out, all the activities will be conducted on time. And if at all there is some problem and due to that the thing is not happening, so that can be taken care and a circular can be initiated to see that there is shift in some of the programs. Then next is periodicity of assessment. So whether the institute will conduct one test or two tests or will be conducting practical test, all how many number of tests will be conducted, all these should be laid down. And next is maintaining of records and attendance. This is very important because many of the students will be defaulting due to some reasons. They will not be attending the classes. So if proper records are maintained on time to time basis, we can involve the parents also and inform them that your board is not attending. And marks also, when it is displayed in the notice board, students also come to know in which position they are, what is their grade, and will try to improve. And according to all these things, we should also have fixed review meetings. This is also very important for an institute to have review meetings based on with the students. We can call the students in HOD level and discuss about the problems, and whatever output is coming out from the meeting, that should be written again and should be sent to higher authorities for solving it. Then academic audits. This is also one of the rule which is implemented now. There, every educational institute should have academic audits from inter institutes. Like one college will go to the other college and do the academic audit. So this will help the teachers or the lecturers to maintain their records and keep everything ready so that during the inspection they are able to show the reports or the works which they have completed. And which is the other thing which is important is during the audit we come to know that everybody cannot be perfect, so some lacuna will be there, so that whatever lacuna is there, that should be written as the non-conformity. And when a non-conformity is happening, the particular section will see why this has happened, so they should see the root cause should be identified, then correction should be done, and then the proper corrective action. So corrective action is important because with that only they will be seeing that such type of mistake is not happening again, so that a proper corrective action can prevent the loss which is happening. So next is very important parameter is funding. So if education institute is not having proper fund, they cannot improve the facilities which is available. So adequate funding should be there, and before asking for the fund, all departments should lay down what all requirements they have for 1 year, and that should be reflected, and accordingly the funding should be asked. And with the proper funding, the next is tactful usage of the funds. Whichever is important parameter, that should be taken care first. And next, and not the least, but effective feedback mechanism. So when you say and want that the education should have proper quality, so it should work only if you have a proper feedback mechanism. So when you take the case of an educational institute, the stakeholders are student. The first and foremost stakeholders are student, then you have parent, the teachers, alumni, and the employers. The student can help us to improve in areas like the students can come out with problem that they are not able to understand this particular subject, or the teacher is teaching very fast, so that has to be changed. So whatever problem they face, if they are writing it in the feedback, the proper correction can be done through with the help of the teacher concerned, the concerned HOD, and thus the corrections can be taken. And parents also can share information informations like whether the student is studying in the home or not, and whatever problem he is facing, that also they can share. So we should take feedback from the parents, then the teachers also, because if the teacher is not having proper facilities, then also they will not be delivering the whole thing in a nice way. Then alumni is also very important. When a student goes out and then when he is asked about the problem, so they will be sharing it openly, that whatever problem you have in the institute, which can be corrected. Then next and the most important is the employers, because employers are those who give employment to our students. So as per the market requirement, employers will be knowing that what all knowledge should be there, what is lacking in our student who are working there. So if they tell us about the area which has to be included in the curriculum, then we can think of, we can add that topic, so that the student is having knowledge on that topic, and they will be recruited in all the firms. So the feedback from the employers is also very important. So with this, I like to share the highlights of the NEP on the enhancement of quality education. So before the NEP was prepared, the major problems of the higher education at present was analyzed. So some of the points I have added here, that is lack of emphasis on development of cognitive skills. The thinking ability of the students now is not emphasized. So that should be made in the new policy. And the learning outcome, whenever a student is told about the learning outcome, then he or she will be happy to learn that. So outcome should be told to them before the class, then they will be interested to complete the session. Then rigid separation of discipline. So now the higher education is having the disciplines or the branches in such a way that there is no linkage of interdisciplinary linkage is not there, and a very early specialization is offered now. So this has to be changed. And then a limited access, particularly in socio-economically disadvantaged area. We see to it that a student who is living in a village has to go a very far distance and reach the institute. So that is a problem. So now, as per NEP, the colleges or the higher education institutes will be added in every villages and area. The number of colleges will be increased so that they can access it. Then there is limited teacher and institutional autonomy. The autonomy says that when in a local based area, there will be some particular requirement. And if when we are following a curriculum laid out by some university, they will not give us the autonomy to change or add some topics which is required as per the local need. So there some autonomy should be given to the institute. Then inadequate mechanism of merit-based career management and progression. The faculty is not having proper career advancement area in the at present, and they are not given opportunity to get some important academic post in the institute. So all these will be taken care with the help of the NEP 2020, and lesser emphasis is given on research and lack of regulatory system and large affiliating universities. As number of universities are less, so one university will be having many number of colleges, so that results in low standards of undergraduate education. So we will now see some of the highlights of NEP, which will be overcoming the barriers which I have shared in the previous slide. The first is higher education system consisting of large multidisciplinary universities and colleges. So, and there will be more number of college in one or near every district, so that the student or will not have to travel and reach the institute. Then moving towards a more multidisciplinary graduate education, moving towards faculty and institutional autonomy. So every institute will be having this flexibility of changing or adding some portions in the curriculum. The revamping curriculum, pedagogy and assessment can be improved, reaffirming the integrity of faculty and institutional leadership positions. So all these, with all these facilities, there will be a provision that every teacher will see that they are getting placed and they are getting given opportunities to advance further in the career. Then establishment of National Research Foundation to fund outstanding peer-reviewed research. So there will be more number of research projects coming up. Governance of higher education institute by high qualified independent boards. Then a light by touch regulation by a single regulator, and then increased access, equity, and inclusion. So this portion is already covered by one of my colleague, Mrs. Aishwarya. So we'll move on to the next topic, that is accreditation. So as I said, we have begun with the quality education. So quality education is possible when an institute attains a accreditation. Accreditation means a standard which says that the institute is following all the parameters required by the accrediting body. So now at present the higher education has to follow two accreditation bodies. One accreditation is NBA, that stands for National Board of Accreditation, and the other one is NAC, that is National Assessment and Accreditation Council. So the NAC is given to the whole institute and NBA is accorded to every branch. So what they have to do is whatever provision they are using, whatever system they are following, according to the NAC or NBA requirement, they will fulfill, they will prepare application and submit it to the accreditation body. So when accreditation is made mandatory, so we will see that all colleges will become at par and all of them will be following the quality. So next is, I have shown the procedure, a step involved in accreditation process. Whatever accreditation the institute is planning, they have to submit an application along with the records or documents regarding the criteria. Some specified criteria is there, so all the institute has to follow it and prepare the documentation and send it to the accreditation body. So they will verify and assess all the documents. If there is some changes to be made, they will resend it to the department or the institute for changing it. And after that, they fix a date for the audit, and they will a team will come and access all the facilities available in the institute, and they will match with the documents which has been submitted. They will see whether all the proof of evidence of carrying out the activities are there or not, and after that they will accredit the institute. So accreditation increases the motivation in the faculty as well as the institute. The students also will feel that this institute is accredited, so they will be following all the quality. So accreditation is a standard which can tell others that this institute is following a parameter and acquiring all the quality requirement. So now we'll see what benefits will be expected from accreditation as per NEP. The first and very important point is both the public and private institution will grow. Now, when we say that whenever we want to get admission, we search on the web for good institution, all the institution which is having a good ranking. So after this accreditation as per the new NEP, what will happen is both the private and the government institutes will grow, and they will, every institute will follow the quality. Then there will not be any need to see that one is at par and the other is not that much good. So there will not be any disparity between the public and private institute. And then the more emphasis on developing a large number of outstanding public institutions, and there will be a fair and transparent system for determining increased levels of public funding. The system will give an adequate opportunity for all the institute to grow and develop. And if whatever help is required by the institute to acquire accreditation, the body will also help the institute. If they are not having any provision, that will be given so that they are able to acquire the accreditation. Now coming back to the role of teacher. So we know that, as I have said earlier, teacher is very instrumental in bringing out the change in the student and give them a better knowledge to become a good citizen. So earlier, this is a comparison between the earlier teachers and the present day teachers. So earlier teacher, we all will remember that in school, the teacher will come with a stick and seeing the stick, all the students will be worried, and what will happen now. So that is known as the teacher center approach. And the instruction method is formal authority. The teacher will be the first person in the class, and whatever authority he have, he will only be speaking, the students will only be listening. And but the teacher is a personal model. So because we also have some favorite teacher, they may be strict, but still we remember them always. Now the student centric approach. Now, as per the new provision, the teaching should be student centric. So again, it is divided into two types, that is inquiry based learning and the cooperative learning. So inquiry based learning and cooperative learning, the teacher is not having a formal authority, but teacher is a facilitator. He will just be facilitating the students with the knowledge. The students will come out, they will prepare and then come out with questions, and that will be solved in the class. Cooperative learning means some portions will be given to the students also. Students will be taking class, and there will be group discussions, and the students' involvement will be there. So when you are doing such type of learning, we see to it that students are very much interested, and many of the topics the students will be able to teach and cover it better than the teachers. So there will not be much difference between the teacher and student. The teacher's role will be only to facilitate. So this difference will also improve the relation between the teacher and the student. Now, as per the NEP, a lot of provisions have been made in the new NEP for development of the teacher. See, here I will like to add one point. Now, as per the NEP, it says that the engineering college will be working in 11 regional languages. It's a very good thing to know that all students will be able to learn engineering in their own regional languages. And as the number of institutions are increasing, there will be less dropouts, because the student drop out because of the distance from the difficulty in staying in one particular area and going to college in a far distance. All these parameters will be solved. So some of the points which is helping the teacher to develop is, number one, the technology based comprehensive teacher requirement planning. So from every state, first of all, the requirement will be projected, that how many teachers are required for higher education institute, and the teacher recruitment will be done, which will be very transparent system, and the recruitment process will be strengthened. And earlier what happened is, the teacher job is always the last option. If a person is not getting job in any other area, he will opt for the teaching. But now with the implementation of the new policy, the NEP, the teacher will be the first choice for many of the good academicians, and that will also improve the quality education. So career growth to be available for all teachers. They will have time to time advancement, their scale will increase, and all facilities will be provided. And improving the service environment through better infrastructure. So as the infrastructure improves, the teacher can also acquire the knowledge, improve their knowledge which is there. Then teachers to have more autonomy in choosing aspects of pedagogy, because teacher only can understand what is the level of the students and what type of teaching will be useful for the students. So there should be flexibility given to all teachers to opt for whatever way the student understands, though they should be given flexibility to choose their way of or their method of teaching. Then academic leadership positions to be made available for teachers. So this is also very important, because every person will be having some extra qualities. So there should be some provision, and time to time the responsibility should be given. They should be given some chances to acquire highest position, and in on rotation basis the responsibility will be given to all other teachers. So that is also a motivation for the teachers. Then there should be provision for teachers professional development. So this is also is very important. So when we join the institute, the knowledge will be less, and with the help of the short-term courses and all, it is such that they can improve technically, as well as they are also given training on management topics to improve their ability and develop in household. Then minimum 50 hours of continuous professional development. There will be fixed portions or areas will be defined, and they will be given circulars. Based on that, they can select the topics which they want to acquire, and for upgradation of their scale also there will be some provision should be made, so that they are covering the requirement and then progressing further. And teacher duties also will not be excessive. So now the present is 1:15 ratio between student teacher student ratio is maintained. That is, for one student 15, one teacher 15 students will be there. So if the teacher student ratio is good, there will be less number of classes, and they can devote better and have better imparting of knowledge and delivery system, so that the whole holistic improvement is there. Then one point which I have added here is faculty not delivering on basic norms will be held accountable. So this was not there in the earlier version. So if the faculty is not able to perform well, there should be some accountability will be fixed on that person. So this is some of the gist of NEP regarding the teacher development. Now I would like to end this session with a quote from Sir Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon which can be used to change the world. Now, with the help of the new education policy, so let's hope that by 2030, we will be able to bring transformational reforms in higher education in the country and see India as a global knowledge superpower. Now the forum is open for the question answer session. You can add questions in the chat box, and you can also mail the content, or any question is there, you can mail it to me and I'll try to answer and send it to you. Tomorrow's, I think there is no questions. Or later on also, you can add some questions and mail me. Tomorrow's session shall be on research, innovation and ranking by Dr. E. Muthukumaran, Assistant Professor, ECE DBRAIT. Thank you all of you for the patient listening. Good day. Jai Hind.